Coming up on the Sports Desk, playoffs action continues. We've got the big wins. And sadly, the heartbreaks. Yes, from basketball and wrestling to soccer, the road to the finals has never been as fierce. Track and field competition has arrived, and it's been 1 month since the death of LA Laker legend Kobe Bryant. See how some are keeping his legacy alive. We've got the who, what, where, when, why, and how. Let's get things started right now. Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Desk, your one source for all things Torrance sports. I am your host, Lesley Robbins, bringing you a gateway to the brightest sports stars and hottest sports spots in Torrance. Before we get to the show, we want to hear from you. Here are the social media stats. I'm at Lesley Mia. The show is at the Sports Desk TV. We've got email, Facebook. Tell us what's going on and what we need to know, because when it comes down to it, this show is all about you. Now let's get you in the know with some numbers. You've watched the games, you've seen the scores. It's been an incredible week for the CIF playoffs. Many of our Torrance area athletes are heading to the finals. But first, let's take a look at how the semis and quarterfinals went down for our teams. In girls basketball, Division I West High, your Pioneer League champ, they had reached the semifinals where they faced a tough Harvard-Westlake team on the road. Unfortunately, the journey did end for the Warriors on that court as they fell 64-49. Home court advantage proved to work in Harvard-Westlake's favor on this particular night. By the end of the first quarter, the Wolverines already had the 15-7 lead. West Anaya James got her first field goal at the 4:33 mark in the second quarter, but at that point, it seemed the Warriors were just looking for a spark, trailing 19-10. By halftime, it was Harvard-Westlake 32, West 20. Heading to the third, James did her best to keep her team within striking distance with this bucket to close within 35-24, and by the end of the third, it was 37-30. James drilled this pull-up to narrow the distance. West even won the quarter. But as the fourth came around, the Wolverines came out firing, and all of a sudden, it was 42-30. Then 53-35, and then 64-49 final score. Harvard-Westlake advances to its 8th CIF final and will aim for its 5th title overall. As for Anaya James, she had 21 points for West. Anaya James was fresh off a 41-point performance against Bishop Montgomery in the quarterfinals, the now infamous South Bay showdown that everyone was talking about, and Melanie Chacon was there.
It was a South Bay showdown tonight against two rival teams. Bishop Montgomery hosted West, and the Warriors beat the Knights 82-75. The Warriors were led by Anaya James and her 41-point game. They're now going to be moving on to the semifinals. The girls came out ready. Bishop got the first bucket, and on the other end, sophomore Ella Estabrook sinks a three. A trend in this game for the Warriors, who had 6 made three-pointers in the first quarter and led it 26-16 after one. In the second, the Knights' defense was a little tighter, and they worked the paint. And freshman Nicole Chung made back-to-back threes for the Warriors, her 4th and 5th of the night, and West was up 37-30 at the half. In the start of the third, the Knights would lose senior Cyan Dyke to an injury, a key contributor on offense. Dyke had 12 points in the first half. The second half was an aggressive, physical battle as both teams never let up, and the Warriors held on to their lead to beat the Knights 82-75 and move on to the semifinals.
We always know that they're going to bring their best. We know they have a lot of key, tough players, and so our mindset going into this game was just making sure that we do what we do best, and we know that they're going to do what they do best, but we got to try and minimize that as much as possible. They are very good at deflecting that loose ball on ball, so we just told our kids to be a little bit more aggressive with our bodies on ball, and then making sure that our shooters were being open for that pass. I think that was crucial. In a couple earlier games, we would get the same kind of result, but the shooters weren't coming open to get the ball, so that was a key difference in this game. I think every day, including practice days, we just got to compete to be 1-0. So whether it's the game or whether it's just a practice or whether it's just a moment in practice, we got to be undefeated in that moment. And I think for us, it's just about getting better every second that we can and just mentally preparing that. Honestly, at this point in the season, everybody's done what they've done so far, and it's going to come down to who executes the best come game time.
I was just looking for my shot, attacking. Even when my shot wasn't there, I was able to kick it out. But I was just being aggressive. I think it was togetherness. We just keep attacking and looking for each other and rebounding, boxing out.
Being their rival, and they're such a good team as well. It's just head-to-head, and we just have to be focused and keep our lead. In practice, I progressively work on my three-pointers, and that's how I could use it in the game more, and that's how I score. Our chemistry is amazing. Like, we joke around sometimes. We love to laugh. And it's just amazing how we can play with each other on the court and off the court.
Now on to North basketball and a hardcore group of girls that made it all the way to the semifinals as well. But it was there too where their goal of going to the finals ended, falling to Orangewood Academy 58-47. But no matter the outcome, nothing can take away the euphoria felt in that North High gymnasium after these Lady Saxons not just won their quarterfinals game, but it's about how they won their game. Seriously, our Instagram page has been blowing up about it ever since. Justin Thompson has the story.
Thanks, Lesley. I cannot believe what I just saw here tonight. An unbelievable finish for the North High girls basketball team to advance to the CIF semifinals. Sam Yanagi getting things started for the Saxons. 2 early three-pointers from the sophomore had North out to an 8-4 lead halfway through the first quarter. And another Saxons sharpshooter followed suit. The freshman Kaylee Bracaros knocking down back-to-back threes in the second quarter had the Saxons up 5. Hard-earned baskets by both teams to end the first half. Really a microcosm of this whole game. Both teams battling and refusing to back down. North up 32-27 heading to the locker room. Pasadena went on a tear in the third quarter, going on a 9-0 run to capture the lead. But North weathered the storm, and a corner three from Dara Takeshi to beat the buzzer had the teams tied at 41 heading into the fourth quarter. And that is when things got crazy. Both teams trading buckets, staying neck and neck, so 40 seconds left, North up by 1, but a 5-second violation as they can't get the ball in. So Pasadena gets a chance, and they can't convert, right at the rim, but no luck. So the Bulldogs foul Sam Yanagi, who makes both free throws. One last chance for Pasadena, and they bank in a 3 to tie the game at 58 with 13 seconds left. But the Saxons refuse to disappoint their home crowd. Sam Yanagi with the go-ahead layup with 8 seconds to play, and then North steals the inbounds pass, much to the excitement of the Saxon faithful. Unbelievable game. North finds a way to win another one, and they're headed to the CIF semifinals.
I was kind of surprised, but I knew we had to kind of play defense at the end, and then when Devin got the ball, I was just so happy.
You know, Sam, best player in the nation, she bring us out here. I told her at school, I was like, I want a 30-piece and a dub, and she gave it to me extra sauce. So, I just, you gotta see it. You gotta come out and watch that. And when they put on a show like that, you love to see it. And we gonna give her all our energy, hope that we can help in some way, because, man, it's crazy.
You know what? I'm just trying to enjoy the moment. I mean, with these kids, it's a roller coaster, but somehow we manage to always pull it off. I just told them to enjoy the win. They're young. They should enjoy it. They're really excited. I think this is the seniors. This is their first time into the semis. They're excited. I have 3 seniors who their older sisters were on the championship team, so they're trying to live the moment that their sisters got to live.
Now onto a strong Bishop Montgomery boys team who wasn't able to advance past the quarterfinals versus JSerra. With less than 6 minutes remaining, the Knights appeared to have 1 foot in the Division I semifinals, but then all of a sudden they didn't. Justin Thompson explains.
Thanks, Lesley. A very unhappy home crowd here tonight at Bishop Montgomery with a spot in the semifinals on the line. Many fans feeling that the officiating was subpar. Officiating aside, the game came down to the wire, and we have the highlights for you right now. Isaiah Johnson had the Knights off to a hot start, winning the tip and then scoring the first points of the game with this left-handed layup. The senior Oregon State commit has been sensational for Bishop all year. But there was another Pac-12 commit in the building tonight. JSerra's Ian Martinez, heading to Utah next year, had a huge game, Strong finish through contact here for the Lions' first basket of the game. The two teams swapped lead changes through the first quarter. Ian Martinez hits a three to give the Lions the lead, and then Bishop answers right back. Nice pass from Isaiah Johnson to Xavier Edmonds, who finds Christopher Cross in the corner to tie the game. A three-point party broke out in the last minute of the half. Brian Mex and Christopher Kraus hitting back-to-back threes before JSerra ends the half with a corner three of their own. 32-27, Lions over the Knights at the half. Bishop came out inspired in the third quarter, going on a quick 4-0 run, prompting a timeout from JSerra. Nice shots from Isaiah Johnson and the freshman, Kelsey Phipps. And the timeout didn't slow down the Knights. Isaiah Johnson with the left-handed layup gives Bishop the lead, and then Christopher Kraus with another three-pointer had Bishop rolling. On to the fourth quarter, 2 minutes left, and Bishop had the lead until Ian Martinez hits the jumper to put JSerra back on top. Frustration starting to boil over for Bishop fans here, with Isaiah Johnson being called for an offensive foul, his fifth. That would send him to the bench for the remainder of the game. But Brian Mex would step up in Isaiah's absence, sinking the three to give Bishop a 1-point lead. JSerra trying to respond, and the refs call the foul here to send the Lion to the line, and he makes both to put JSerra back on top. Last chance for Bishop, down one with seconds left, a chance for the win, but no luck, no whistle, and JSerra advances to the CIF semifinals.
Oh, I thought we played our butts off. I thought we played really hard. We stepped up, made some big shots, gave ourselves some chances to win. You hate to go out in the playoffs on a whistle, you know, and and the last three whistles went against us. I thought one of them was just brutal. The charge call, I thought it was obvious. Well, you're never happy you lose, especially when you have a chance to win. I'm happy with the progress the team made. I thought they did what I asked them to do as far as getting better, and I thought we were significantly better the second half of the year.
Moving on to wrestling, the CIF Masters meet just went down, and congratulations are in order for one of our very own. West High's Yoshia Funakoshi has qualified for his second consecutive CIF state wrestling meet. Okay, coming up, playoffs coverage is not over yet. Stand by for soccer, plus track and field is here. And later, Kobe Bryant gone for 1 month now. How some locals and A-list athletes are remembering him. Keep it right here.
It's not about where you were born. It's not about your gender or the color of your skin, or whether you're rich, poor, or in the middle. No matter what you play, if you have the skill and drive to succeed in school and in sports, we'll provide the opportunity.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk. Lesley Robbins here with 3 finals-bound soccer teams. Let's start you off with the North High boys soccer squad, who, yes, are heading to the championship round. Let's recap. They had to take on and beat Altaloma in the quarters, which of course they did 5-1. Then it came time for the semifinals, where they faced Hart. OT anybody? Melody Chacon has the incredible highlights.
The North High boys soccer team had the home field advantage as they hosted Hart in the semifinals this past weekend and beat the Indians in overtime, 4-3. It was a physical back-and-forth battle, and according to head coach Rivas, one of the toughest matches this team has been through. The Saxons' first goal was made by Andrew Valverde on a penalty kick after this foul occurred. Hart answered back with a corner kick assist and a header. The Saxons regained the lead off another Valverde goal and led it 2-1 at the half. In the second half, Hart scored again, tying the score at 2, and the Saxons added another goal, to which the Indians had another answer. The game was tied at 3 after regulation. And in overtime, Richie Londono's penalty kick won the game for the Saxons 4-3.
Our league prepared it for these kind of matches, you know, back and forth. Hart's a really good team, well coached, clearly. And for us, you know, we just stayed poised, relied on what brought us here to this point, and pulled out a win. North hasn't been to a final ever. We've been to this point, you know, a semis, but that was years ago. But this is my program now, and you know, for us to turn it around within the 4 years, I mean, this is my 5th year of coaching, and to turn it around this early I'm incredibly proud of the boys. You know, a final it's not easy, clearly. I mean, we battled today, but I'm super excited for the chance to win a championship next week. You don't get to the semifinals or finals without facing really challenging teams. And so for us, it's all about mentally preparing for that one more game.
Finally making it to the CIF final as a team, as a group. We've come a long way. We're all happy for each other individually. We're proud to make the school proud. We've come way too far to go out now, especially at home. We've put in too much work. We've improved a lot individually and as a team. We've built so much chemistry to put it to waste that this is a once in a generation, lifetime type of opportunity. We just had to make the most of it.
Speaking of OT and PKs for that matter, now to our Pioneer League champ, South High girls soccer. These girls are en route to the finals after defeating Palos Verdes in the semis, after going through 100 minutes of 2 overtime periods and then being content to go to penalty kicks to decide it. 4-3 was the final score. It was an intense, well-defended game out on the Sea Kings field. The game was scoreless at the half, and here's a big save by the Spartans to keep it scoreless with about 2 minutes left in regulation. And then came the moment. After 2 overtimes, Michaela Johnson scored the winning goal in penalty kicks for South as the 6th shooter. South goalie Chloe McElroy made one final save on PV's Shia Holyfield to win the penalty kick battle 4-3, sending South into the CIF Southern Section Division III Finals. Check out this pure elation on the field. Now, to get to the PV game, the Spartans had to get past number 1 seed Flintridge Prep in the quarters, and they did so in kick-butt fashion, winning 4-1. Alyssa Luba scored a hat trick, and then Nicolette Wyrick had the other goal to lead the host Spartans to the win over the top-seeded Rebels. The Lady Tartars are also headed to the championship round. Justin Thompson has the story on how these ladies got there.
Playoff quarterfinal action at Zamperini Stadium. The Torrance Tartars girls soccer team looking to advance to the semifinals. Coming off a tight 3-2 victory in the second round, this game would also be decided by just 1 goal. The Tartars struck first in this game. Allison Lorenz with a great opportunity here, has the ball set up for her, and she knows what to do with it, punching it into the net to give Torrance a 1-0 lead. The freshman was selected as the Max Preps player of the game, and for good reason. A second goal for Allison here. A beautiful pass from her teammate, a nice finish to get it past the goalie and make it 2-0. Their opponent would respond with a wonderfully executed corner kick. Great setup for the header there, but ultimately Torrance would hold on to win the game 2-1 and advance to the semifinals where they would take on Santa Paula. A more convincing victory for the Tartars here in the semifinals. This one was never in doubt. The freshman again, Allison Lorenz with the nice touch off the corner kick to lob it over the goalie and put the Tartars up 1-0. Another first half goal for the Tartars, Alicia Watling this time sneaking it past the goalie. The junior midfielder booted that one from distance, and the Tartars had a 2-0 lead at the half. The Tartars added another goal early in the second half. Allison Lorenz with the assist this time. A perfect pass to set up her teammate for the easy score. The goalie never had a chance. And finally, one last goal for the Tartars. Talk about distance. The junior captain, Jessica Carapino, with the perfectly placed ball. Almost 40 yards out, and she makes it look easy. So the Tartars advance to the CIF Finals with a 4-0 win over Santa Paula.
Speaking of Torrance High, the Tartars just hosted the Zamperini Track and Field Invitational. Yes, spring sports are inching in, and we were there. Millie Chacon has the story.
Set.
Today we're celebrating the 15th annual Louis Zamperini Invitational, and it's a bright day, a nice day, a great day. There's lots of high schools here, a lot of high school athletes, a lot of parents in the stands, and this is all to honor a great man, humanitarian, a Christian in the name of Louis Zamperini. They just completed the first race of the 8x200s, and my team happened to take first place, so I'm happy about that. The majority of the team is made up of 9th graders, and to have them in their first competitive race against a quality group of teams, finish first in their heat. That's outstanding. So I'm very pleased about that, as well as the turnout today in the 5,000 meters. We had 16 girls compete in their 5,000 meter race, and we had 33 boys. This is the 5th year we've only run the 5,000 meters at this event. The first time we ran it, we had three athletes total. And now to have over 50 combined, I think that's good, and that's honoring Mr. Zamperini as well, because he ran the 5K in the Olympics, and it's just a great meet. It's the whole idea behind this meet is to honor him, but also to give athletes a chance to compete in their first competition of the season. As long as I'm the coach here at Torrance High School, Louis Zamperini Invitational will continue.
Okay, coming up, we've reached the 1 month mark since Kobe Bryant's death. How some in Torrance are remembering him. Stay tuned.
These are the moments that bring us to our feet. The anticipation, the 15 seconds of fame, the big catch. But the most important moment happens when we all stand together. Join us as we stand up to show our support for loved ones affected by cancer. Visit standuptocancer.org/MLB. Stand up with us.
Welcome back to the Sports Desk. I'm Lesley Robbins. This week marks 1 month since we lost LA legend Kobe Bryant, his daughter Gigi, and 7 other souls in that horrific helicopter crash. Right now, as we film this show, Kobe's memorial is being held at the Staples Center. As Los Angeles and the world continues to mourn this huge loss, fans and pro athletes alike are remembering him in their own ways. While here in town, I had asked the USA men's national water polo team their thoughts on Kobe's passing, and here's what they had to say.
I've always been a Kobe Bryant fan since I was a little boy. He's part of my childhood, and growing up in LA, every kid needs to have a role model and someone that they look up to at every single level, and Kobe was my guy. And although we never had a personal relationship, I mean, as it shows you with him passing away, how big of a reach he had, the impact he had on so many different levels and so many different age groups. And you can look at it negatively, which it is, totally. It is the biggest tragedy ever, but it's brought a lot of people closer as well through the world of social media, through personal interactions. And I think that in my everyday life, I was someone that I aspired to be like, because he carried himself in the most professional way at all times. And that's really gone a long way with me, and especially moving forward towards the Olympics. Something, it's the Olympic year, but for me also it's kind of like the year of Kobe. I want to train that much harder. I want to win that much more. So that's really where it kind of hit home with me.
Yeah, I remember the second I found out, I was with my family, and all of us grew up watching Kobe Bryant. I was just a kid when I remember him in the 2008, 2009 seasons. And it was just a moment of shock, disbelief, and then slowly as the reality of it sort of set in, it was just sadness for Kobe and his daughter Gigi and the rest of the family involved in the helicopter crash. So it was just a day that I will never forget, and something that it will take the city of Los Angeles and every sports fan around the world some time to heal from. But just a reminder that never take any day for granted, which is a good reminder to have during these full-time trainings.
He was an amazing athlete with, for sure, one of the top, if not the #1 mental approach in all athletes that we've seen in basketball and all sports, but especially as a top athlete from Los Angeles. He was with the Lakers franchise his whole career. Most of us on this team, for the most part, are from Southern California, so I think we all kind of really love the Lakers, but all around love basketball also, NBA. We addressed his passing and the rest of the unfortunate events that day for the other families. It did bring us maybe closer together as a team. We became a little bit more thankful of our time now and our time as a group. And it was actually kind of nice to start our first day. It's kind of weird to say, but it was nice to start our first day of training back with this event to kind of help center our attention and move forward.
How has that affected you personally, just being on a level like that with someone?
It doesn't feel real, you know, like 'cause sometimes you think someone like Kobe is immortal. He grew up in Italy. I always listen to his interviews in Italian. He said he eventually would have liked to play in Italy, never ended up doing it. It'd been awesome, but he definitely had a big impact on all the worldwide community of sports. And I think that's his biggest legacy, like his impact worldwide rather than just like a local.
Speaking of Kobe in the Olympics, he's a man who won a gold medal at the Olympics too.
As the passing did happen recently, you've seen so many videos, so many interviews, so many unbelievable speeches that he's given. And I remember one of them talking about representing Team USA at the Olympics, and he was just saying it's a different animal going and playing at the Olympics and representing your country and the honor you feel. Especially, he was saying his first time was everything you could imagine and more, and it's really a blessing and honor to represent your country and hopefully get a gold medal.
And then we have the sports fans that work at Torrance's Hop St. Brewing Company who found another way to keep Kobe's legacy alive.
We want to do some kind of tribute to him because, you know, our proximity to LA, our involvement with the Lakers and in this town, we wanted to basically highlight what a tragedy it is and try to bring a coping mechanism, if you will, for some of the people locally to come, you know, have a drink and talk about it, tell some stories of how he affected their life in a positive way, or just come to terms with the shocking news. My front of house manager asked if there was a way we could possibly name a beer in his memoriam, and we happen to have a double IPA in the tank that didn't have a name yet, which happens here pretty often. You know, we'll get creative and brew something, and it doesn't have to have a name. We don't brew the same beers all the time, so it's fun. And this is a American-style double IPA, so it's a big beer. It's, you know, it's got a lot of flavor, a lot of bitterness, and floral, citrusy flavors. Its presence is known, just like Kobe's was, you know, and I think it was a fitting tribute in that sense. We just want people to think in his memory and possibly raise some money for a good cause here. It's just about giving back to the community and coping and dealing with this horrible loss. The community support for this has been amazing. We were really surprised at the rate that this beer has disappeared, so we're actually brewing a second batch now, and proceeds will be donated from that batch as well to the Mamban 3 Foundation. We think the cards all fell together for this beer. It tastes great, and I think it's a fitting tribute to someone like Kobe.
And that is going to do it for this episode. We will see you back here next week. In the meantime, here are the social media stats. I'm at Lesley Mia. The show is at the SportsDesk TV. We've got email, Facebook. Be sure to keep in touch and take us behind your scenes. For everyone here at the SportsDesk, I'm Leslie Robbins. Thanks for watching.